Those are beautiful. Good morning, Rabotai. Shavua Tov. Beruchim Habaim to everybody. Today, Tuesday, the 12th of Adar 1, corresponding to the 19th day of March 2019. The live video feed by the Lighthouse Torah Project, dedicated Le'ilui Nishmat Devorah Feige Bat Shemuel and Refuah Shelema of Ora Devorah Bat Rivka. The iTorah.com audio file is dedicated for the Refuah Shelema of David Menachem ben Devorah Leah, Frida Bat Sivia Tzveta, and the Refuah Shelema Sion ben Sarah. Tomorrow will be the Ta'anit Esther. According to the times in Miami, the Ta'anit begins at 6:16 in the morning, and the Ta'anit will conclude at 7:53, which should be around the reading of the Megillah. So the tradition is that we break the Ta'anit after we finish reading the Megillat Esther. So today we'll talk about Purim as well, but we'll talk from a different perspective. We know that certain days of the year, they carry certain amount of blessing, or certain amount of power, or certain amount, or certain amount of segulot. And the day of Purim is one of these days. So I have a small book in my hand, small in size, but huge in content, that describes all the things that are beneficial to do in the day of Purim. So we'll begin right away with the Kav HaYashar. Kav HaYashar, I believe, was a sefer written by Rabbeinu Tam, the famous Rabbeinu Tam, grandson of Rashi, the one that is attributed to the Rabbeinu Tam Tefillin, and it says, Yom Zeh, the day of Ta'anit Esther, which will be tomorrow, Be'ezat Hashem, is a great day that a person prayers should be delivered in the merit of Mordechai and Esther. And therefore, whoever has a need of a special mercy from the heaven, whatever situation it may be, if a person needs parnasah, shidduchim, refuah, children, whatever it may be, ikach penai le'atzmo, take a few moments of the day tomorrow and recite chapter 22 of Tehillim. This particular chapter is the chapter that connects itself to Purim, Lamnaseach, Mizmor Alayelet HaShachar, Mizmor LeDavid, etc. Esther was known, the Gemara writes in Masechet Yomah, that Esther was called as Ayelet HaShachar. What does it mean, Ayelet HaShachar? So basically, we can call Esther HaMalka like the flashlight before sunrise. What does it mean? It says that in the moment prior to the miracle of Purim, there was a great level of darkness that was hovering over the entire world. Because we need to understand one thing. The Zohar HaKadosh writes that the world was created for the Torah. And the Torah is given to Am Israel. But if Haz v'Shalom, Haman's, God forbid, becomes successful with his plan to erase the Jewish people, guess what's going to happen to the world the day after? There is no need for the world. There is no purpose for the world. So this was the dark cloud until Esther HaMalka comes and she prays to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's what our holy rabbis tell us. And he says, first read the chapter of Esther HaMalka, and then Ishpoch Sicho Lifnei Hashem. Open your heart to HaKadosh Baruch Hu to pray for whatever you need, and also pray to Borei Olam that in the zechut of Esther and Mordechai that caused a day of darkness to become into a day of salvation, also that each person should find salvation in whatever need that they have. And therefore it says, take advantage of the day of Ta'anit Esther, and like Borei Olam answer the prayer of Mordechai and Esther, so Borei Olam will answer our prayers. This is from Rabbeinu Tam, Kav HaYashar. Now comes the next one, Ohev Israel, and the Rabbi Shemuel or Shimon of Belz, and it says as follows, every holiday, thank you so much, every holiday that we come across in our life, each holiday carries a special, let's call it blessing, a special type, thank you, a special type of good omen or good amulet or good segula. So it says as follows, in every generation the Ohev Israel says, when we come and we celebrate Purim, what does it mean spiritually? That in a way we are reliving the miracle of Purim. And that's what we say in the Amidah and in the event that you eat bread in the Birkat Hamazon. We add the prayer Ala Nisim, correct? But how does Ala Nisim finishes? She'asita le'avotenu bayamim ahem bazeman hazeh. So what do we say? That in this particular day, it's like a wedding anniversary, right? Or a birthday. Okay? How happy, I hope it's a happy situation, how happy is a wedding anniversary day? Super good. I see some of you are hesitating. Don't hesitate when I ask you such a question. You need to be quick. Wonderful, beautiful. And you really cannot afford to forget your wedding anniversary. And if you forget, you will forget only one time. Because your dear wife will remind you, okay, don't forget wedding anniversary, and how much excitement it exists in a day that a person celebrates their wedding anniversary. You'll get to know this soon, Be'ezat Hashem, not to worry. Find a good wife, you'll get to know how beautiful marriage is. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam, she'akol nihiyah v'tbaro.
Amen.
100%, and the voice of experience just reinforced something that we all know. If the wife is happy, everything else falls into place at home, in business, in Shalom Bayit, in Irat Shamayim, etc. Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem. So, what is the idea of commemorating the wedding anniversary? I think it was you who showed me a video of your wedding several years back, right? Don't say how many. A few. High double digits. Okay? A wedding anniversary. Without sound. Imagine yourself how many years this was that there was no sound in the video film of his wedding. And how happy, how different did you look in those days? Well, you look like, you look good, better now, by the way. I'm sure that's what your wife tells you all the time. But unbelievable, you go back and you relive the mega day, the Hachamim, your parents, your in-laws, your rabbis, everybody who was in your wedding. Hamavdil ben Kodesh lechol, Purim in a way is again a wedding anniversary in the relationship between God and the Jewish people. We were about to be part of a museum. We were about to be part of history. And Baruch Hashem, in the last minute, Borei Olam reversed everything. And therefore, it says, the Maharash says, like HaKadosh Baruch Hu came to the rescue of Am Israel in the moment of Purim, in every generation, whenever we come to the day of Purim, Hashem renews the power of the miracles. It's unbelievable. We don't say about this Rosh Hashanah. We don't say about this in Kippur, but we say it about Purim. The next paragraph is something that I discussed yesterday, how every holiday it's inside the celebration of Purim. I saw last night, maybe I'm going to try to do it, but I saw it last night. Amen. So the Sefer Toda'ah brings down, I wish I have it in front of me, but I don't. I should have taken a picture. So it says that each letter, Purim, Pesach, Vesukot, that's what he writes, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, and Matan Torah. Beautiful. All the holidays are hinted in the word Purim. You like to get that video? All the holidays are inside of the word Purim. The Hidah says because all the holidays can identify with Purim. Every holiday that we have, Rosh Hashanah, judgment. Purim, we were judged. When Haman threatens the destruction of Am Israel, in English means that Am Israel is being judged. And the forgiveness is Yom Kippur, Matan Torah, Shavuot. Beautiful. Comes the Osrot HaChaim. And what I'm going to say now is very heavy. So I need to be careful how I'm going to deliver the following statement. He quotes Rabbeinu Ha'ari, and it says, if every Shabbat of the year there is something called Ha'ara. Ha'ara means from Lashon Or. There is a certain level of godliness revealed into the world through the day of Shabbat. And every holiday carries a message. Purim kedushata kefula mishabbatot umoadim. The celebration of Purim carries a double dosage of holiness above any Shabbat or any holiday of the year. If Rabbeinu Ha'ari will not say this, I cannot say this to you. Unbelievable. Goes even further. And it says as follows. The Gemara writes in Masechet Berachot. You want to experience a sample of Olam Haba. Okay? How is a sample of Olam Haba? So the Gemara says, Shabbat me'en Olam Haba. The day of Shabbat is, thank you so much, is a sample of what does it mean, Olam Haba, the world to come. What does it mean? Like on Shabbat, we rest and we don't worry about anything at all. And we have selected things that we do and many things that we don't. Also, Shabbat is in a way, but it comes and it says that Nisim, that miracles that happen to Am Israel, are yotzeim michuke hateva be'anhagat olam hazeh. What he's trying to say is as follows. By nature, the miracle of Purim should have never happened. Meaning to say, Haman had all the cards in his hands, spreading out the hatred against the Jewish people in the 127 cities or states or provinces. So basically, no one can say, oh, there was a safe haven for the Jews, like it happened after the Holocaust. When it came the time of the Holocaust, how many people went to Shanghai, to yeshiva in Shanghai? How many people traveled to Japan? How many people came to South America? So in other words, even though unfortunately there was a chunk of the Jewish world that was under the threat of the Holocaust, Hitler, Mahshemo and company, but yet there were a couple of, let's call them escape routes that Bnei Israel could have said, at least I'm able to sleep at night without fear, Haz v'shalom. Obviously, when other Jews are suffering, we don't sleep calmly. Just follow the news of the world, the unfortunate tragedies in Israel. A couple of terrorists attacked yesterday, I think, or 2 days ago. Yes, there were 2 casualties. Yes, a rabbi and a young lieutenant of the Israeli army. Hashem inkom damam. May God avenge their blood. So we live in a very challenging, also something happened in Europe yesterday. The Kodde guy, Baruch Hashem, he attacked a rail, Amsterdam, in Holland, okay, and New Zealand the other day. So unfortunately, we are seeing that the world is in chaos, so to speak. So comes the Mahshabot Harutz, and it says, we need to understand that the miracles that Hashem does supersede the natural way of life. Sure, the natural way of life was that Haman had the plan, the perfect plan to get rid of Am Israel. And Baruch Hashem, Borei Olam sent the redemption through Mordechai and Esther, which is, by the way, one of the reasons why people dress up in Purim. The Halakha says, if you're going to dress up, a man should not dress up like a lady, and a lady is not allowed to dress up like a man. You want to dress up like somebody else, not a problem, but not definitely in the opposite gender, because halachically it creates a problem. What is the reason of a person dressing up in Purim? Where does it come, the concept that a person dresses up? Short answer is actually a message from the Megillat Esther. In the Megillat Esther, you do not find Hashem's name written in the Megillah. Hashem's name is hidden in the Megillah. So the same thing with the mask. Like the mask has the true identity, also in Purim, we hide ourselves like a Kadosh Baruch Hu was managing everything behind the scenes. That Mordechai was sitting in the gate of the palace, and Mordechai happens to know the language that these two custodians were talking, that they figured, this rabbi doesn't speak Tarshishian, you know. I told you what happens to me many times. I'm in places and I listen people speaking in a different language. They don't believe that I understand. And when I answer them back in that language, have a safe trip, okay, they freeze. Because they never believe that a rabbi or a religious Jew can speak other than Hebrew. But okay, it says the Mahashavot Harutz, and it says that on the day of Purim, there is a blessing all the way from Olam Haba that blesses Am Israel, as the Pasuk writes in the Megillat Esther, Benahu me'oibehem, Benahu me'oibehem rather, which means we rested from the enemies. Which enemies is the Megillat Esther talking about? The first answer will say Haman and his followers. True. But now we're going to learn a Hiddush. And it says, you know who is the oyev of the person? Who is the enemy of the person? The problems that a person has in their life. So he says, like the Megillat Esther gave Bnei Israel the peace of mind not to worry from the enemies, also in the day of Purim, Borei Olam gives us the power to get rid of all the issues that affects in our life. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Also, comes a Hatam Sofer, and it says that there is a great zechut of learning Torah in the night of Purim and in the day of Purim. Why? Short answer is because the world in the day of Purim is not the day that people learn most Torah of the year. Probably Purim is a day that people learn less Torah than usual. Justifyingly so, because people are saying, I'm busy with the mitzvot. I'm listening to the Megillah, I'm reading the Megillah, I got to deliver Mishloach Manot, I got to give Tzedakah, I got to visit my parents, my in-laws, my rabbi, etc. So the person halachically can justify why they are busy in Purim. But not only that, also comes the Seudah, correct? Then comes the Seudah, and some people are mahmir, and they drink more than usual in the Seudah of Purim, which you need to be careful. Although there is a mitzvah to drink, but there is a mitzvah to stay safe and to stay healthy. So if you're going to drink, make sure not to drive or stay at home. But definitely the halacha is against when people have extreme levels of behavior under the influence of alcohol. If a person misses Birkat Hamazon, it defeats the whole purpose. If the person starts saying or acting in ways which are not suitable or proper, you do an avon. You're not doing a mitzvah. That's called mitzvah, hava'ah, ba'abirah. So drink a bit, make a lechaim, but you control the bottle, and don't let the bottle, God forbid, to control you. Now, so therefore it says that because of the many people in Purim don't learn Torah, so it comes a responsibility on everyone to make sure to learn Torah, even for a few moments. Additionally, it says in the Segulot Israel that in the morning of Purim, a person should make the effort to get up early, to come to pray, to listen to the Megillah, and to do all of the mitzvot, as we discussed the halacha in the other minyan, that all the mitzvot of Purim are applicable after the Megillah reading of Thursday morning. Meaning to say, if the night before, meaning to say Wednesday night, after Arvit, you went to someone's house, and you gave a mishloach manot, the mitzvah was not fulfilled. It's a nice gesture to give, but the mitzvah is not fulfilled. Why not? Because the mitzvah needs to be fulfilled in the day of Purim. Maybe you did it the night before because you were heading that way. You wanted to save yourself a trip. That's not a problem. That's beautiful gesture. But to say that you fulfill the mitzvah, you need to do the same thing the next morning, give a tray to someone, etc. Also, the Talmud Yerushalmi brings an interesting concept. And it says as follows. There is an idea of Purim that anyone who extends the hand, we give him. Anyone that comes and asks you for help, you give him. You give him some, you give him less, you give him more. It's up to you. There is no guideline how much to give, etc. But it says, like in the topic of charity, but the halakha says that whoever comes and asks you in Purim, you give. What does that mean? Throughout the year, you are allowed to inquire, why are you collecting money for? But in Purim, don't ask too many questions. Give. Anyways, you're not going to give $101 to everyone that's knocking on your door. I hope you do so much. Maybe you do $5, maybe you do $3. I knew someone that used to give anyone coming to collect $180. And he had 70, 100 people per hour. I saw this in my own eyes. Behemet. And he used to give. He didn't speak. You just needed to bring a paper, and he'll give you $180 in the day of Purim. I cannot display that publicly. Someone in Miami Beach. Yes. There are many heroes around. And there are people I do know for a fact that throughout the year, they have a specific office hours and home hours to give charity. Beautiful, beautiful. So it says, like anyone that extends the hands on Purim, we give him. So also, when we ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu for something, Borei Olam also gives us with help, etc. Now, Purim, and that's exactly what I just said in the name of the Yerushalmi, Talmud Yerushalmi Masechet Megillah, and it says that in these days are the days that HaKadosh Baruch Hu aims to fulfill the wishes of everyone, and Shamayim will answer the person accordingly, but answers that connect to goodness, salvation, mercy, compassion, financial well-being, and spiritual well-being as well. And therefore, it says in the name of the Hidushei Harim, the same halacha in the day of Purim, that we have a halacha that says the concept of giving matanot la'evyonim, the help to the needy. A person that has a need has need themselves, and therefore you help the person accordingly. These days, Hashem, the Divrei Hezkel writes, these days Hashem's fulfill everyone's desire, and similarly to the way that Hashem shower with blessings and salvation and godliness and goodness and mercy, so Borei Olam answers the prayer for each and every one of us. The Torah Temet writes that a person who has a need to bring children to the world should make extra prayers in the day of Purim. The Gemara calls Purim as Puria. Puria is from Lashon Piria, Berivia, to be fruitful and to be multiplied. And it says as follows, that in Purim there are two main mitzvot. There are actually 4 mitzvot in Purim: Megillah, Tzedakah, Matanot Levyonim, and the Sa'udah. These are the 4 mitzvot, or mishteh, whatever you want to call it. And that's what the Megillat at the end, the Pasuk says, Bedober shalom lechol zar'o. This is how the Megillat Esther finishes. Words of peace for their descendants. From here, the Ateret Yeshua learns that the day of Purim, the concept of Megillah, if you put together the word Megillah and the word Zera, gives you Mehillah. If you put together the word Megillah and Tzedakah, gives you the word Zera. Zera means descendants. Beautiful. One more, the Gemara in Megillah writes, LaYehudim hayeta ora besimcha besason bikar, a pasuk that comes from Megillat Esther, and it says, Ora, the Jewish people had light, Zu Torah. What is Torah? Parnasa as well. Why? Imen kemach en Torah. Milah, which word is this mi pasuk? Milah is sason. So when the pasuk says, LaYehudim hayeta ora besimcha besason bikar, sason means the berit milah. So it says, through the concept of the mitzvah of Megillah and praying, especially with talet and tefillin in the morning of Purim, it says that a person may be granted the ultimate blessing of having children. Fascinating, fascinating. One more, and with this I'll think that I'll finish. And it says as follows. Purim, one of the key elements of Purim, the pasuk says, Ki ketav asher nichtav benihtam betavaat hamelech, a decree signed by the signet ring of the king, you cannot change. So it says here that in the day of Yom Kippur, in Mehillah, in the day of Purim, is the day that the faith of the person is being sealed. Meaning to say that we still have an opportunity to pray and to see great miracles. The Midrash Eliyahu adds, and it says, like Purim forgives Am Israel, the day Mehillah, like Kippur forgives Am Israel, the day of Purim also brings also forgiveness to Am Israel. But one more, it says in the Rabbeinu Rav Kadosh Miruzin, he says Yom Kippurim, a day like Purim, meaning to say that Kippur is small compared to Purim. Why? Kippur brings teshuvah to the person only who does teshuvah. That's what the Gemara writes in Yomah. But what happens in Purim? Purim mechaper ben lashavim ven she'enan shavim. Even if the person didn't do teshuvah, but it says, Borei Olam help me, Borei Olam says, I help you. In the Kippur celebration, which usually is preceded by 40 days of selihot and ta'anit, and spending time in the synagogue and the shofar of Rosh Hashanah. In Purim, we don't need none of the above. Just be here present, celebrate the beautiful day of Purim, pray for salvation, and pray for miracles. I'll give you 2 more if you don't mind. It says as follows. Every Jew in the day of Purim has an opportunity to get closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. As the Gemara quotes a pasuk from Megillah. The pasuk talks about Harbonah. Harbonah was one of the advisors of Ahashverosh. And he's the one who said to Ahashverosh, look at the tree that Haman created in order to hang Mordechai. So what does Ahashverosh says? Telu alav. Go and hang Mordechai. Mehillah, Haman. Some opinions say, Harbonah zachur letov. This was actually Eliyahu Navi. But it says as follows. Like the pasuk says at the end of the Megillah, the Beracha, Gam Harbonah zachur letov. Also everyone will be connected to HaKadosh Baruch Hu for goodness and for Beracha. And that's a reason why, if you look at the end of the Megillat Esther, the pasuk says, Hakerovim be'arechokim לקיים עליהם את דברי האיגרת הפורים הזאת. Mordechai, after the miracle of Purim, sends a letter. But listen to the words of the Megillah. For those that are far and those that are close. You know what the Shari Sachar says? That this pasuk means that even someone that is far away from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, in the day of Purim, gets a free pass to do Teshuvah. Unbelievable, unbelievable, unbelievable. I'll give you one more, if you don't mind. Do you mind?
No.
Beautiful. It says that the Kedusha of Purim can last for an entire year. And that's the reason why many people expand the Seudah of Purim into Motza'e Purim. Let's say sunset is at 7:30 this week. You start the Seudah at 5:30 and you finish the Seudah 9:30 at night. You sing, you dance, people come, people leave, etc. It says those extra minutes that go into the next day, it's the foundation of the beracha and happiness of Purim throughout the entire year. And that expedites Mashiach's arrival before the celebration of Pesach. Fascinating. I'm going to make a mark that this is where I stop today. So Beli Neder tomorrow will give you a few more candies to enjoy for the celebration of Purim. So take advantage, Rabotai. As I said before, read chapter 22 on the Purim night, Purim day, in the Ta'anit. I'll tell you one more thing that I do at home. Light a candle for Mordechai and Esther. Why? Mordechai and Esther is actually Esther and Mordechai. Rashi Tevot Aleph Mem. And Aleph Mem is Eliyahu Mashiach. You understand? So pray for that also. And Be'ezat Hashem, like Hashem performed wonders and miracles above nature in the time of Purim, in the time of Mordechai and Esther, so Borei Olam Be'ezat Hashem renews the miracles of Purim in our days with the ultimate redemption. B'meira v'yamenu. Amen. Have a good day, everybody. Shalom. Baruch Adonai Le'olam. Amen ve'amen.